All right. So today I have someone really exciting and special to share some information with you all. And this is Angela Manelli. She is a holistic health and nutrition coach. So the first thing, we're going to be talking all interview about how to deal with cravings, particularly sugar cravings. But the first thing I want to ask you, Angela, hi and welcome, by the way.
Thanks.
Is tell people more about what it actually means that you're a health and holistic, see, I can't even say it, holistic health and nutrition coach. And tell us a little bit about yourself, too.
Okay. So basically what that means, the word, holistic means that we're different in what people are used to with Western medicine, and that we treat mind, body, and soul. So it's not just one component of your life or your body, it's the whole thing. We work in reverse of symptoms. We don't just try and treat symptoms. We look at or look for root causes, what's actually causing the symptoms, and work in reverse to make you feel better. So a little bit about me. Been in business for a couple years now. Left a pretty stressful, you could say, at the least, a corporate job.
I think we all did that.
Years.
We got out of corporate America.
I know, right? It was like time to do it. And so I just jumped ship, man, and I took the biggest leap of my life. I left an extremely secure career, multiple six-figure, in the worst economy since the Great Depression.
Awesome.
And thought, I'm going to start a business. And I've been doing it ever since. And, one of my biggest messages to people and the world is believe in possibility, because when the odds are stacked against you, in my opinion, it's the best time to go for it.
I agree. Excellent. Now, I have a little cheat sheet because you are full of information and I don't want to miss anything. So I love that you teach people that cravings are actually important and it's not a sign of weakness. So tell us what you mean by that. Why are the cravings important?
Okay. So your body is the most intelligent thing on the planet. It is so super intelligent and knowledgeable. And when you tune into your body, it's going to tell you exactly what you need. So a lot of people are running around thinking that if they have a craving for sugar or caffeine or whatever it is, that means they're a willpower weakling. And that has nothing to do with that. It's truly, breaks down to your physiology. It could be emotional. But for whatever reason, that's your body's way of talking to you and saying, I need something. So, for example, with myself, one of my biggest aha moments in life was I was at a Starbucks drive-thru in Beaumont, Texas. I used to be a claims adjuster. So I worked a lot of the natural disasters around the country. And I was going through a drive-thru one morning, and I ordered a Starbucks Frappuccino and an Otis Spunkmeyer muffin. And that was a turning point for me. I knew at that point that something was really out of sorts if I was that hooked on sugar, because that was the staple in my diet. But I needed energy. And I was working 14, 15-hour days nonstop. And my body was craving energy. So it made me produced a craving in me to get sugar, because that was my drug of choice. And so looking back, it makes perfect sense why I was indulging in that food. It was wrecking my body. But the truth was, it was having me crave that so that I would get that food in my system and it would give me a quick fix. It would give me that, that jolt of energy to keep me going.
Totally.
And so many people are dealing with that,
I mean, I'm in New York, so I can see, I see these people running around all the time. The line's out the door in Starbucks sometimes, so I get that. Now, when people are trying to kick their sugar habits, because like we said, sometimes people think they're weak or, I should be able to do this. People say that all the time. I should be able to do this. What's the number one most common mistake that people make when it comes to getting off of sugar?
Oh, yeah. The number one most common mistake that people make is they turn to artificial sweeteners. So these guys are the devil. They're neurotoxins. They actually change your brain chemistry so that instead of you craving less food, you crave more food. Got to remember that the food manufacturers out there are very intelligent. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that sugar sells, just like sex sells. They know sugar sells.
Totally.
They present it in a way that it's very seductive and attractive, and it's going to make you happy. And just the opposite happens. You know, you're on this roller coaster ride where maybe an hour or two you're feeling good, you got all this energy, but then you just crash, and you know, it's like you're really low. And that up and down in your blood sugar leads to a whole host of problems physiologically. But that's what a lot of people turn to. They turn to things like NutraSweet, what is it, Sweet and Low, Equal, and they're toxins, very, very toxic to your system. So, and they actually produce a craving for more food. So people trying to lose weight think, oh, I'm going to go on these artificial sweeteners, and it's backward thinking.
And that's because it's not the real thing, and your body knows that, right? And so it still wants the real thing?
Yeah.
I've heard that before. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
like I said, it actually changes the chemistry in your brain. It will change your brain chemistry.
For people, you know, who want that sweetener, I know for a while there, Splenda was advertised as like made from sugar, so that was a good one. Is there any, like, you hear sometimes that agave nectar is okay, or some of these like xylitol or erythritol, I might not even be saying that right. Mm-hmm. What about stuff like that? Are those considered artificial sweeteners, or are they any different?
The ones that end in all those are basically sugar alcohols. Those aren't so bad. I don't care for maltitol, I think is the name. That's in that one. There's some cookies, I think they're called Joseph's.
Okay.
And that one, I personally don't care for. But xylitol actually isn't bad. Erythritol. Agave, the thing with agave, that's come under fire in the recent year, I guess, as being more refined than high fructose corn syrup. And it can be, unless you get the raw organic version. So when you're out shopping for agave, that's what I would look for, is a raw organic version. You just have to look at the source. You got to be a food detective out there. It's not that easy anymore.
I know. Good.
Yeah.
So next, I know you also teach people, which I love, and I really want to hear what your answer is for this. Why isn't dealing with a craving an issue of willpower at all?
Okay. Yeah. You know, I love to teach weight loss, natural weight loss, and this kind of coincides with that whole concept. We've broken down, you know, when it comes to losing weight, for example, which, you know, with sugar, you gain weight, so naturally that's a side effect. People want to lose weight.
Right.
And we've broken it down to eat less, exercise more, and have more willpower. And the truth is, we're only born with about 5% willpower. Willpower has nothing to do with the equation. If it only took willpower to lose weight, no one would ever need to lose weight again.
Right. We'd all be great looking all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We'd do it once and we'd be good. And you know, then the diet centers wouldn't be mucking things up, and you know, the center stone of the multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry. It's just like the pharmaceutical industry. It's about money.
Yeah.
So the only one that benefits from those industries are the people who are making the products.
Yes.
I worked with a client actually once who worked for Weight Watchers.
Okay.
And she confirmed that it's less than 1% of the population that loses weight, you know, through those quick fixes, gimmicky sort of approaches.
Yeah.
And they set their whole business up based on the fact that they know people aren't going to lose weight permanently and they're going to come back to them.
That, I know.
So, yeah, if it was just about willpower, you'd never have to think about losing weight again, you know. And same thing with sugar cravings. Sugar is a drug. It's a drug for two reasons. When you withdraw from it, you go through withdrawal symptoms. And when you eat it, you crave more. So it hits that pleasure point in your brain, the dopamine. Same thing that, you know, any kind of a drug addict is looking for. They're looking for, you know, that pleasure point. And it's the same thing with sugar. It sets off all these, you know, chemical reactions that make you feel really good.
Right.
But the damage it's doing to your body, it's an empty calorie. So when you ingest it, it just draws from your body's own store of vitamins and minerals. So it's creating a deficiency.
Okay.
So that's physiology. Can't override physiology.
No.
Ask Deepak Chopra. So that's why it's not about willpower.
Okay.
It really has nothing to do with it.
So now, I mean, you've more than proven that you obviously know what you're talking about, and this is really important stuff, and you have the understanding of, the physiology and the things going on that a lot of people do not. It's not about willpower. So can you give us maybe 3 of your top maybe techniques that people could use right away that they can start implementing to kick these cravings in the butt?
Yes, absolutely. The first thing I would recommend is to eat adequate protein. So, we don't want to eat too much protein because protein is a very acidic food. Meats are very acidic. So you don't want to go overboard. If you're looking to determine how much protein you need, you take your weight and divide it by 3. And that's going to tell you how much you need in a day.
Okay.
But when you eat protein, that's going to satiate you. Just like if you eat the good fats, it's going to keep you full longer. So definitely one of my top tips around cravings is to eat more protein. Actually, one of the root causes of cravings is that you don't eat enough protein, or if you do eat enough, you're not assimilating it. So keep that in mind, because a lot of people's digestive tracts are completely compromised nowadays.
Totally.
Yeah, and they don't realize it. They're taking the acid reflux pills, they're popping those pills, and that has nothing to do with low stomach or high stomach acid. It's due to low stomach acid.
Okay.
The second thing that I would recommend, because I do not believe in depriving myself at all in any way, is I would try raw chocolate. So have you ever had raw chocolate, Liz?
Yes.
Yeah, so good, so good. In fact, right there in New York, you've got a chocolatier, Vanessa Barge, who went to IIN where I went.
Mm-hmm.
And her website is Gnosis Chocolate. So I think she makes the best raw chocolate.
It's so good.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So that's one thing I would recommend. And not only because it's good, but it's so good for you. It's a superfood. It's rated the highest on the ORAC scale for antioxidants of any food on the planet. It's very high in magnesium. So people with heart disease or migraines are typically low in magnesium. And it also is loaded with neurotransmitters. So, like your serotonin, your dopamine, those things I was just talking about.
Right. Hang on. I want to interrupt you for 1 second. Did you hear that,
Sure.
people? She's telling you to eat chocolate, but it has to be raw chocolate. And spell.
Exactly.
Can you order, actually, Gnosis? It's Gnosis, right?
Exactly. Gnosis chocolate. That's exactly how you spell it. And yes, you can order it because I live in Cleveland and she's in New York.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I only ask because at least I know that's a reliable source.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
So that's a couple reasons why I would choose that. It's made with a natural sweetener. She uses agave, and she has actually done extensive research on her source of where she gets it. So she stands behind that, and she's very confident in that.
Perfect.
So neurotransmitters, lots of antioxidants, high in magnesium. It's good for you. It's a superfood.
Perfect.
The other thing I would recommend around this, and I know a lot of people struggle with this one, but you've heard it before. I'm going to say it again. You got to eat breakfast.
Oh.
Breakfast is going to set the tone for your blood sugar for the day, and that's going to help with regulating the blood sugar. And the irony with this is that a lot of times people whose adrenals are really exhausted, they don't have an appetite in the morning. On the flip side, if your adrenals aren't exhausted, you tend to not have an appetite in the morning either. But either way, even if it's just a small nutritious snack or something along those lines, you want to get something in you in the morning because you're breaking the fast from the night before.
Yes.
So if you try that, again, that's going to help a lot with keeping the blood sugar stable. You're going to notice a big difference. Take it from me, I, honest to God, was the world's biggest junkie when it came to sugar. I mean, all day and all night. And nowadays, because it's okay, you've got a sweet taste bud, you're going to want sweet. It's not about eliminating sweet. It's just making a better choice. And so, once a day, usually I have maybe a little cashew butter with some brown rice syrup, maybe a teaspoon of that or something. Honest to God, that does the trick.
Yeah.
So I'm good to go for the day. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Angela, you are phenomenal. I love this information. And I have under this video is all of Angela's information if you guys want to check out her website. And, she's a coach. She has services. If this is a problem for you, reach out to her. She clearly knows what's going on. She's cured her own cravings. And like we can all see, she's really awesome. So if you have any questions, her email address is going to be there too. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll get you back here again soon for something else.
I'd love it.
All right, thanks.
Sure.